My name is Amira. I'm a fifth year DBM student. Today I'm going to present on the review of zoonotic importance of rabies and the role of animal reservoirs. As my outline indicates, I'm going to present on the objective introduction, etiology of the rabies, zoonotic importance and transmission of this rabies, the reservoir of rabies, clinical signs, diagnosis, prevention and control, and finally we will proceed on conclusion and recommendation. As introduction indicates, this disease, rabies virus, is the most feared and the issue of the public health risk disease of worldwide. This rabies came from the Greek word or Latin word, and it means revere. That means revere means to be mad, and it's invariably fatal disease. Once clinical appears, it will kill animals or humans. And this disease is canine rabies predominantly. It's predominantly in Asia and Africa, and also Latin America and the Middle East. It is appeared predominantly. My seminar paper objective is on zoonotic importance of this rabies disease and overviews on the role of animal reservoirs. The causative agent, etiology of this disease is the causative agent is bullet-shaped neurotropic RNA of virus. It's the Lisa virus genus of the Rabidoviridie family. This genome is single molecular linear and it is a negative single-stranded. By size, this virus is 11 to 50 size of kilobyte. And the most, this virus it's mainly zoonotic importance because it's transmitted from animal to humans. This virus is fatal for humans and also for mammals. Primarily, it is transmitted from, as I have said, from animal to human, especially its risks for veterinarians. And also, as zoonotic importance, as we know, 75% of the zoonotic importance are there in a worldwide. From those, 60% is identified those infectious diseases. From those, the rabies virus is the first and important disease of the zoonotic because of the lethality of this disease. An estimation of the disease of this virus is annually it kills greater than 59,000 of people per year. In Ethiopia, this is the second and largest number of cases related to the rabies. And in 1998, the report was indicated Ethiopia was the first case of death in Africa. Around 10,000 persons die per year. In 1998 was reported. The way of transmission. This disease is transmitted in 4 means. The first one is this disease is transmitted by bite. The second one is by mucosal membrane, by direct contact of mucosal membrane, could be by wound. And the third one is less commonly, it could be by inhalation during in cave and those workers in a laboratory and for those diagnostic center of the vaccine. And also the most important, it could be transmitted by the organotransplantations. And the most important is what is the reservoir of rabies. The rabies reservoirs is identified at least 30 reservoirs of these viruses, and also the neglecting of the reservoirs is cause the neglecting of or unrecognizing of these reservoirs species is present in a community having negative consequences for the prevention and the control of this disease. Rabies virus reservoirs, those are mostly carnivorous. Those are skunks, raccoon, dog, cat, and bats are the most reservoir of this disease. And from the total 96 rabies laboratory case confirmed in Addis Ababa was mostly from dog. It was predominant. And this image is indicated in Nepal and China. There was 36.634 was from dogs, and from cattle, as picture indicated, 32.23 was from the cattle, and as this image indicates, most of the cases from dogs. Dog is the most reservoir for this disease. And the source of this infection is infected animal, or always infected animal is the source of this infection. And what are the clinical signs of the rabies disease? The first one is restlessness and anorexia, diarrhea. We can observe slightly fever and also dilation of the pupil, hyperactivity to the stimuli, and also excess salivation is the most and observable clinical sign in case of this disease. And how we can diagnose this disease? To diagnose the rabies virus is mostly feared, and they are confused with other disease. It could be confused with other disease. Therefore, the suspected probably clinical case of this rabies should be confirmed of laboratory tests. This is by detecting of the negligibility from the hippocampus organs by cellular stainings. And the most important is DF80. DF80, direct fluorescent antibody technique, is the most important for the diagnosis of rabies virus, is the gold standard for diagnosis of this disease. And how we prevent and control this disease? The first one is by creating awareness throughout the community is the most important to prevent and control this disease. This is CTMA College of Veterinary Medicine students, Dr. Ismail, and those are my friends. We were creating awareness in a community and high school and preparatory school around Bishoftu and Addis Ababa. And mass immunization is the most important to prevent and control this disease. And the other one is by controlling or depopulating stray dogs or unvaccinated dogs, and also collaborating with animal health, human health, and also environmental and also wildlife handlers. They should have to work together as one health approaches. Those are the most important. Other ones for controlling the prevention is dog registration is also one of important, and controlling access of the wildlife species is also one of important for the controlling prevention of this disease. And the other one is pre-exposure vaccination of this human is also important. Mostly this one is important for veterinarian, animal handlers, laboratory staff workers, and for wildlife officers. This pre-exposure vaccination for human is important to prevent from this disease. And the post-exposure vaccination of human is also important. After someone is infected or susceptible dog or animals, they could be exposed for those suspected animals. After that, they should have to take these post-exposure vaccines. So this is post-exposure vaccine is aimed to inactivate rabies virus in wounds, to stimulate immunity, to kill the virus before it enters to the brains. And the conclusion, my conclusion is this virus is 100% fatal and 100% preventable. And also it affects all warm-blooded animals and humans in a worldwide distribution. And also as a reservoir, at least 30 reservoirs are identified, like carnivorous, hematophagous bats, and insectivorous bats. Based on about the conclusion, I recommend this one. All possible reservoirs should be identified for prevent and control this disease. Other one is human, animal, and environmental health should work together in collaboration. And the last one is stray dog and the cat should be avoided from the environment to control of this disease. And thank you very much for
Very nice presentation. Now I invite Dr. Brian for comments and the system.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Lambi.
Very nice slides and a very nice, very eloquent presentation that you had. I feel that you have this strong passion towards working race control. So that's very good intention. I have seen your seminar paper, and it's very good. And honestly speaking, it's very nice. There are very minor errors and things that you need to improve, like I have indicated them in your document. For example, I can comment you on the summary, where you didn't indicate why there is a need to do this kind of review. It should be indicated. And also you need to indicate what are the findings specific to the topic that you have chosen. It should be clearly indicated. And saying this much, then the most important way of preventing rabies, as you said, is vaccination, right? But you are not emphasizing that one in your seminar paper. So you have to have one subtopic dealing with vaccine and vaccination for rabies. So that's one of the weakness of your seminar paper. So I don't want to comment, rather I would just like to hear from you if you have done a very good reading on the topic. Okay? For example, is there any human-to-human transmission of rabies? How?
As we have said, from the transmission method or way, one is by mucosal membrane contact. When suspected animal or infected human is contacted with a healthy person, it could be transmitted with healthy persons from the infected person by saliva. So most of the person, if they treat the suspected human, they could be taken from that persons by saliva. But when someone is touched,
Is there any confirmed case related to that? Is there any report talking about a man biting another man or a man kissing another man and transferring the virus? Is there any scientific that's something that you read from the literature?
From my literature,
No.
no.
Yeah, so stop it.
Yeah,
Give me another example. Human-to-human transmission.
yeah.
Is there? Still there is?
Yes.
But how it is?
Other than
Other than this mucosa, something that you created yourself,
yeah.
a real transmission is there. How was it? How was it?
Without saliva or he can bite. He can bite.
No, still it's.
Yes.
I've seen that you mentioned it. So, there are some stickers, that's a. For example, you say what?
From person to person.
Yes. It is recently that we have this kind of case of transmission from
Yeah, organ transplants.
organ transplant. Perfect. And that was previously been reported in developing nations,
Germany.
Europe, in America.
In Germany.
Now, in developing nation also, like if you read China,
Yeah.
the process of ROTA, we call it that.
Yeah.
Yes, all organ transplantation. So, can you tell me how that is possible?
Because this virus is after multiplying in brain, it's going to centrifugally distributed to the organs,
Okay.
like a liver,
Uh-huh.
like kidney.
Okay.
So after that, that virus is contain that organ, contain that virus. When we transplant for the other, easily we are transferred with this disease.
How that is possible in that scenario in organ transplantation? I mean, can you guess the pathogenesis and the conditions leading to that?
Yeah, first that
They must have
virus,
a correct,
that virus is multiplying that organ. After that, when we took from that infected person to the healthy person, it could be
The
transferred.
virus multiply, replicate where? Which organ is the main replication site for?
Hippocampus, brain.
Yes, the,
Yeah.
in, for example, it would be liver or something like that.
Yes.
The virus can exist at the end of the nerve endings, right?
Yes.
And those people who are conducted surgery, they are provided with immunosuppressants. because of prevent organ rejection. የተሰጠውን ኦርጋን ሪጀክት እንዳያደርግ የሚሰጠዋል የተለያዩ ኢሚኖሰፕረሰንቶች ይሰጣል። በዚህ ምክንያት ቫይረሱ ምን ያህል እድል ያገኛል የመራባትና በሽተኛ ሰውየውን መልሶ ማጥቃት ኬዝ ይኖራል። ኢንኩቤሽን ፔሪድ is not like a normal incubation period. The normal incubation period is for rabies is how many days?
It depends on the bite of the site of bite.
Okay, that's
Can vary.
at least
As generally, it's from 3 weeks up to 3 months.
yes, that in case of transplantation, it will be very different. It may last for months. Okay? These are the basic things. Because when you do a review, we expect you to come up with new knowledge. So that's what we expect. And what is case fatality? Now, rabies is considered like the highest, case fatality is the highest one for rabies. Yeah? So what do you understand by that?
Case fatality.
Rabies, yeah.
Case fatality rate, in a sense, it kills once the person is affected by this disease.
Yes. Very good. So veterinarians are the high risk, right?
Yes.
So what do you advise them?
They
Is
should-
there any advice that you mentioned for your friend who's going to be veterinarian next year?
Yeah, first, safety is first before contact with unknown dog or unknown animals, and the other one is take the pre-exposure vaccine.
How effective is the post, especially the prophylaxis? Prophylaxis and the post-exposure. How effective and good it is? 100% preventive?
There are different. There are different types of these post-exposure vaccines. From brain, it is 99%, and one case is paralysis thrombosis. As I agreed. And the other one, HDCV, is most important human nuclear cell virus that work from that. I think it's done from the kidneys.
But is it 100% effective?
Vaccine, HDC is 100% effective, and human from sheep rabies 99 effective.
But still there are days. This human days reported by EPHI.
It's due to factors, due to
Disposing factors.
predisposing factors.
Okay, let's take that one as it is. And there is one important point where I may like to really hear from you, where the recommendation is said the stray dogs and cats should be removed from the community. That's terrible, huh? Because we are veterinarian, we care for animals, we wish animals exist. So how can you coincide this thought?
How can we justify this hypothesis?
This is to push us. First one, most of developed countries control this disease. So greater than 59,000 people die per year due to this disease. So most of these diseases come from those animals I've mentioned, from dog and cats, because they are linked closely with these animals. So to push another people to make them owner of these animals, we should have to be avoid. Or when we decrease the population of dog, most of people they kept as owners.
But animals have freedom to live, right?
Yes.
Freedom to eat, freedom to do everything.
Yes.
How can you kill for the sake of your own safety? There must be another way. Why don't you suggest another humane way of controlling the disease rather than killing the animals?
This is to push legislative or registration of the
Even on your seminar paper, where you have already indicated that among those stray dogs killed, 50% of them were not, they had owners, right? 50% ከሞቱት በመቶ ሺህ ውሾች 50% ስትሬይ ናቸው፣ ሌሎች ምን አለ? ስለዚህ ይህን እንግደል ብለን ስንወጣ በጣም ብዙ ስትሬይ ያለው ነው ባለቤትም ያለው አብረን ትገኝ ነው። The best method is what? To control the population. How can you control that population? One, as you mentioned here in your presentation, We need to encourage legislation by which people are required and forced to own and register their dogs. Yes. The second one, make Spain forestry available to everyone. Why don't you have this kind of campaign? And we use the chemical neutralization method, birth control mechanism. ተጠቅማ ሴቶቹ እንዳይወልዱ ማድረግ ይሻላል ነው የሚደረገው። ለምን ነው? So this is main topic. You need to have this kind of attitude. Because you are veterinarian. We need you to really have good compassion and care for animals, especially when it comes to the welfare. That's the thing. The other is, when you reference, some of them are incomplete, and you have some cross-referencing. You don't actually encourage cross-referencing. You understand what cross-referencing is? For example, you mentioned Recha. When you are talking about virus, the rabies virus in Latin America, Recha is here in India. He didn't do anything in Latin America. Maybe he reviewed a paper that is done in Latin America. So instead of mentioning Recha as your reference, you should have go to Recha's citation and read the original paper. Cross reference matter for the mission. And this is the question of
Advisor cross reference
we see. I decided.
advisor ሳይሆን ኮኦርዲኔተር ፕሬዘንት ኦርጋናይዜሽን ላይ ክሮስ ሪፈረንስ ተጠቃሚ
But the way that you mentioned, like now, if you mention Recha or something research done in Latin America, that really doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? So we need to avoid those kind of things. Otherwise, an excellent presentation, and I like your confidence. Congratulations.